here preparing. So we supposed to be live now.
We are live.
Yeah. Good evening, guys.
Hello.
Good morning, whatever you guys are, depending where you are in the world.
Hello. Good evening.
So tonight we gonna have Device. The guys is based in Barcelona, the sunny Barcelona. Never get cold. I'm gonna play the show reel, and then we're gonna introduce them and start our talk. Give me a moment. It's been quite a long time we don't do this. So we share screen.
New year, new hardware.
New year, yeah, it's new computer. So that share with sound, optimize, cool. So so the computer doesn't like
there we go.
To be sharing this screen. I'm gonna put full screen.
Device.
Nice.
Very nice.
Really nice.
Thank you.
Did you guys?
I always feel
go
compelled
ahead.
to clap at the end of a show reel. I don't know why.
Hey, you are more than free to do it. I mean,
Did you guys do the music as well?
yes. Raul, one of the partners, is also a musician and did the music for this one. Yeah.
So can you introduce yourself and tell, because if I'm not wrong, you guys in 5 guys, yeah? So Device is total 5 guys, yeah? So if you can introduce you and just tell everyone who you are, you know, what party in Device you are.
Sure. Well, and first of all, I just want to thank you guys for having me into the show.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. We finally made it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Ibran and one of the founders of Device, and also creative director and executive producer. And yeah, Device is an animation production, let's say, studio. And as we were like already discussing that, we consider us a production company since we have 4 different brands. We have 3 studios. Device is one of them. Then we have Amigo Total, and then we have Pixel. And we recently launched a production company that represents our 3 studios and more talent in the field of illustration and animation. So in a way, we are growing our structure. And even though it's more or less the same team, let's say, we focus on different things and different kind of moods and approaches and, you know, and different parts of the process as well, in the production side and also into the creative side.
So
what was your background before Device, and like what brought what made you guys set up a company?
My background was actually graphic design. And the thing is that in the university where we were studying, we had a few animation subjects and more film related subjects. So in there, we discovered our passion for animation. And the thing is that me and two more partners than me were studying at the same university. And the other 2 partners, we shared this street art background, and we were like
All right.
painting together. So in a way, we mix both sides, and in a way, we have think that these two sides of one is the academic one, and the other one is more the creative freedom that you have in the street when you paint.
Yeah.
It's something that it has been in our nature from the very beginning, and it has evolved in our, in our journey into this creative world. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it's kind of like a crossroads, isn't it, between graffiti, graphic design, creatives, kind of a crossroads of all of them. And you can kind of see that in some of the projects on your website, I think.
Yeah, because for instance, Amigo Total is like this more cheeky, experimental, and let's say more target, younger target kind of a studio. And then we have Device that it's a studio for the all audiences. And then we have Olympic Pixel that it's really to pixel art. So it's a lot of different passions that came together in these three studios. And obviously it's related to the founders, that everyone has its own passion. And actually it's something that it has been a bit of a handicap in the very beginning, because people didn't understand exactly what we were capable of, because they were seeing a lot of stuff in the same place, and they didn't trust us when they needed some specific, things to be developed. And actually it has been like quite a journey of trying to make everything clear to the clients and to let them understand what we can do. And that's the reason we have split our studio in 3 studios, and obviously this evolution into the production company that we have now.
Cool. Let me push back a little bit of like history. How long you guys been going on? Because I remember you guys prayed for about 10 years now, when we used to call Cake, and me and Poku used to be together. Even Poku moved back to Barcelona, and we share a studio with you guys. So exactly. How long you guys been going now? Yeah, we did we did our open
you were dating a long time
Barcelona
ago
after off, and we invite everyone. Was like, I think, the biggest party in the studio. Next day, G Monk had on his presentation something right on the lift, some pictures from the party.
Yeah, I can't believe the actual building, resisted this amount of people in that terrace. It was like crazy.
Yeah, it was really crazy.
The best party ever, I guess, into the off festival. But yeah, this is going to be our 11th year officially, even though as an initiative we started in 2008. And the thing is that we started in a very naive way. We wanted to make this t-shirt brand. And we had these reference guys that we look at too, that were in France, that were called Six Pack. And these guys used to do, I don't know if you guys remember those guys in France, but they make these collections of t-shirts, and they were like super free, and they were collaborating with other artists. And we really loved the freedom that they had, and had the approach into the fashion thing. And we wanted to do our own fashion brand. And the thing is that since we were like gathering together and starting to talk about these things, it also happened that the guys that were hiring us into the studios that we were working for at that period realized that we could do a great team for taking over these projects that were super low budget, and they needed more than just one freelance. And they start to see us like this little team that could take all these projects, and for us it was also an opportunity to reach this kind of project that has like these big clients, even though the budget were like super low. So at one point we realized that why don't we make a studio that can also make t-shirts and also can make animation and design and this stuff. So we decided to go for a general studio and to set up and to start basically.
That's cool. Yeah. And how, like I remember in the old times, like when me and Poku used to be partners, and we always fought, you guys being 5, how being, like a company. I remember the beginning, the beginning is always a struggle for everyone. But you guys being 5, of course, it's 5 hands to help. But in the same time, for a company starting, it's 5 people then you need, to feed as well, and it's really nice to see, the journey. You guys now has more companies. You guys doing really well. So, but how was that in the beginning? How being five, founders, how, that, if you can tell us a
Yeah.
little bit, for your experience.
We want horror stories.
Yeah, for sure. And the good thing is that it would be great if all of them could tell their own version of the story, But at least for me, I guess it was a matter of, funding something with people that you really get along with and that you really admire. And and we had the fortune or to be lucky enough to have these people like really around us. So we really connected in that way. The other one, I guess, at that time we were really naive, let's say, and I think it's something good at the end of the day, because there's no secret to the success, at least from our view, but to start doing something, and to start going into finding projects, and the other one is that I think that we all grew together, in a way. So the good times were good for being motivated, and the bad times were good also to put everyone's ambition into the same level, and to start to realize what these little things that go there little by little. You start to realize that we have the same level and we have the same expectations, and and we are together in something, and we are going to fight for something. And I think that hard times have this good thing too, that we fight together, and even though they are hard moments and people start to to be less receptive so to some ideas sometimes, I guess that it's something also good to forge and to grow together and to be stronger.
Definitely very team building, isn't it, when you go through the same struggle together?
Exactly. It's like going to a war and you survive and and you build a crazy friendship with someone because of that, so I guess that for us it was quite the same thing.
That's nice. Yeah, but I remember the old times, and it's really nice to see, even you talking about the different companies now. You guys is 4 in total now, so it's nice to see, how you 5 start together and how they're developing different areas as well, and just see you guys growing, and
and I guess that's a good thing about it, because at some point you only see projects as a way of getting into the next thing and to improve yourself. And at some point we saw the actual studio as something that can be improved, and seeing the structure is something that it's very, it's very interesting in this way. Otherwise sometimes you feel that you have reached your little roof, and you say that what's next, and again, and also a few years ago I was a little bit afraid, because I felt that in our profession, sometimes having experience is not the best thing to do a great project in terms of creativity, because sometimes a very young person can bring fresh ideas into the,
it's like the older you get, the more stuck in your ways you become in some
exactly
regard.
It's different. I see it different from another kind of professions. If you build furniture, you probably are going to be the best one when you are old, because you have
let me guess, you're building another chair.
Yeah. But maybe you are the best one doing it because no one has more experience than you. But in our case, I was feeling like, whoa, maybe we're going to be obsolete at some point. But then
no, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, I speak a lot, you can stop me whenever you want.
Carry on.
So in a way we start seeing this as a chance, an opportunity to join forces and to realize where your position is. Maybe the experience is more into the production side, or maybe into the creative direction side, and then this new talent that it's fresh can give fresh ideas too, and everything gets a match and together. So it was an understanding of the evolution of being more mature, in this kind of creative field, that everyone has its own position and everything can work if if you realize where you belong to.
Yeah.
So how do the companies function as do they function all together, or are they kind of like quite separate? Like what's the setup with that?
Well, the thing is that obviously the sizes of the company are different. So, Device is the biggest one in terms of the amount of project that it gets, and obviously Pixel and Amigo Total are just smaller. But the thing is that we start to divide a little bit more the production side and the creative side. So
Right.
let's say that into the production side, which is Ball, the production company, we split a little bit, the people that is there, or the ones that we are involved in one and the other ones that are involved in the other ones, even though we still share this, this way of deciding things in where we speak, the five of us, to make like big decisions. And I think that it's a good thing because, you have visions from everyone. But we try to organize a little bit more that, because obviously with 4 brands, we need more organization and there's more team involved, and it's a way to, to make things work. So we start to divide a little bit, but it's more into this production side and creative side. And
have you found it? Sorry.
Go ahead, Shane.
Have you found it's made much difference in regard to how you sell yourselves as a company? Like you saying previously, sometimes clients don't necessarily have confidence, even though obviously you can do the work, don't have confidence because of they see a different quite a lot of different styles on the website. But whereas if you've got different sections of different companies, you can kind of stick it in a compartment. So from that respect, has it been easier to market yourselves as separate companies instead of one entity?
Yeah, totally. I mean, even though it's always an open discussion, because it's something that is not really ever done, because things happen, opportunities happen. I mean, we grow and so on. We think so, and it's because it's a way for us for being some kind of specialized kind of a studio, even though in the background we do all the things that we still love to do. And for instance, with the relationship with reps, someone that represents you as a studio, it was much easier for them to understand how to sell our work, even though when we pay a visit to them and we say, okay, guys, if you like, or if you think that this part of the portfolio is going to work for you to sell us our work, use only this part. I mean, when we had pixel art in Device and we said, guys, if you are really interested in pixel art, just put pixel art in your portfolio and Device does pixel art for you, But they didn't feel confident with that, So we had to create the different companies. And even though pushing 3 or 4 different things is slower, because you need 4 times the effort for pushing one thing compared to pushing one thing, I guess that it's a slower kind of, trip, but it's also at the same time something that, we are pushing 4 different things. And I guess that we start to have the reward for all this effort that we have been doing for all these years, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it's like a bigger picture.
And you guys trying to use more like just to try and understand a little bit how the system work. You guys use both as a production company that represents. So when you guys go to sell, I'm just imagining how you guys selling, Device, pixel art, each one as individual, but that what you're doing is using both to sell everyone as like if it's a rep for everyone. So Device doesn't go and look for work anymore. So both go and look for work and represent you guys. Is it that correct?
Generally speaking, yes. But obviously we still have some reps with some of the studios. And obviously we have a great relationship with them. And I mean, for now, we're gonna be like that. And obviously, since we have like several public faces, let's say, with all the websites and studios, we don't want to cut this out of the game, because maybe they can, get in touch with you because they have seen the Olympics website and we are there. But obviously,
Okay.
regarding our efforts for sales, is more focused through both. That's true. Even though we don't want to cut these other, tentacles that are spread there, and they're also like great for getting work back,
And it's a nice way as well when you think about agencies, no? Because some agents, in the past, we used to have quite a lot of problem being a studio. When you're going to trying to sell the agency, all right, but who you represent on the studio? They don't understand much the mentality of a studio. They always think, like an old production company system when you have directors and they represent directors and they put the directors forward. So that helps you guys as well, in this way, no?
Yeah, I think so. And I guess that in a way, certain people takes you more serious when you're a production company. I don't know why. I think that is not fair at all, because everyone can be serious in any kind of structure. And I guess that portfolio is what speaks for you. So, but we start to find, even though it's been like a short journey because we launched 4 months ago, something like that. So we are quite new into being a production company. We really start to feel that people, takes more serious, and obviously for certain kind of clients or agencies is more profitable to have a lot of different styles in just one place than just having just one style. Everything organized, everything has its own head, but they have a lot to choose for, but it's in only one place. So we found that it was like a great option and something great that it's happening to us. Yeah.
It's interesting what you're saying, like about being a production company, and then people will take you more seriously because of that. Because I don't know, it's kind of like back in the early 2000s, 90s, or whatever, and before that, people wouldn't take you seriously as a company unless you had like a specific address, like a London address or a New York address. It's kind of interesting.
Totally. But I think that people see us as a more useful partner. If we were just like in a studio, it was more a one-shot thing that could happen. But if we can have, we can offer more things, they see us a more useful potential partner. That's good, we think.
I'm going to change my branding to a production.
Because it's really funny. Like you're talking about the others, James. Nowadays, even like freelance, when you see freelance, people don't put that where they are in the world anymore. It's all emails. People don't like you call them anymore. So it's like
it's becoming somewhat irrelevant in a way.
Yeah, it is. It is somehow. Now, if you want to work remotely,
except when it comes to costing jobs and rates, of course.
Yeah,
exactly. Because you are based in there. Oh, so your day rate is going to be probably this.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's changing quite a lot. I think for studioing somehow is changing as well. I think you still give the security to have like a base, but more and more, especially I think what happened through this, let's say 2 years of pandemic is just open, made the clients realize no matter where you are, everyone just passed that transformation. You can work from anywhere now.
I was gonna say, like, how's it work with you guys? I mean, what's the split between people on site and people working remotely?
I think that the pandemic, but for everyone, I guess, it's been approved that we can work remotely and everything is nearly fine. And in our case, it was great that we started like being a little bit more professional in terms of the workflow. So once the pandemic came, we already had a lot of things like more better setup. And I guess, I mean, it's just a matter of organizing yourself and taking advantage of those things. If you are in different time zones, for instance, or organizing these things can be also profitable, for having a longer working days, let's say, in terms of the amount of hours that people is working, obviously, for different people. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you find it affected your creativity? Like, I mean, the way you went about your your creative solution for a project, because it used to be like you're just on site, having conversations and kicking ideas around. Whereas obviously the dynamic has changed if people aren't on site anymore.
Yeah, I guess I don't think it have necessarily affected the creativity. I mean, for us, it was a matter of, growing a little bit, of trying to work with better talent in general. And obviously, in this case, once we have the production company, that we represent people, so it's another chance, to have this kind of, let's say, family. That is, obviously, it's not someone that is actually working for you, and obviously, it's not someone that is a freelance artist, but is this mix, and it's a different kind of a relationship, and I think it's very interesting too.
Yeah, kind of one aspect I do miss working remotely is like going out for lunch with friends and people in the studio. That's the one thing I really miss.
Yeah, I think we lose. I don't know. We were talking yesterday.
The sandwich
with a
over Zoom is
client.
not the same.
We were talking to a
too.
client about this. It's just like any conversation that takes you 2 minutes, to go to other person's computer and have a quick chat, now takes like half an hour to jump in a Zoom or, just doing calls. So I don't know, for me, somehow we break the creative flow somehow, to have everyone together, even in, you can still do the brainstorms and everything, but everything takes so long, even we adapt through these 2 years. I'm really a person that I like see people, so it's really hard.
There's pros and cons though. Like I find that in some ways it's good because you can cut everything else out and concentrate on what you're doing. Like you've had your chat, you've had your brief, you've talked over ideas. Now I can just concentrate on one thing alone. That is one positive aspect, but I'm not sure if the pros outweigh the cons. It's just different.
Yeah, I think that it would be great to have both, because now that you are saying this, I think I agree in some part, because I guess that some kind of creativity comes when you are not serious at all, when you are joking and you are super comfy with that person and you are like, joking around, and some great ideas can come there.
Totally, yeah.
And obviously in a Zoom call or whatever, you are not that, comfy maybe, and you are not joking all the time. And so I guess that this kind of creativity, more sporadic and spontaneous, maybe it's being lost with all this thing, but yeah.
Yeah, it's true. I've been noticed, like this last 2 years with the pandemic, there's a lot more animation going on. There is two things I noticed quite a lot. I think clients accept more the animation. We speed up that process. Clients want to do live action and they realize, whoa, I can do more animation now. But in the same way, I realize it's being a lot more difficult to get freelancers and full time. And I've been talking to quite a lot of people with Joey from School of Motion, and seems every studio having this problem. Are you guys having problem to hire people? And do you think it's more like because people don't want to really be part of the studio nowadays, and NFTs there as well. People think, oh, now I'm an artist, I just do NFT, stay at home,
for the 3D artists, I guess.
Yeah,
but yeah, when it comes to these these moments of the year that everyone has more more projects, and I guess it's more generally, it also depends on countries obviously, but we sometimes find ourselves in this position where finding the talent is a problem of the project. We have the project and everything is working fine, but we need more people to join us to help. And I guess that it's this general thing about having more animation, into the market. And obviously, since our structure are more, we can size our structure depending on the amount of work. But freelance are the freelance that they are in the world, so they cannot multiply themselves. So
I guess there's more people battling for the same people, but I have a solution.
What's your solution? Tell us, James.
Well, I think you should have like a welcome package. So if somebody works for you, you'll send them a basket of like nice treats from like Barcelona or London. Like Thiago, you can send like knives and cocaine.
What do you mean, for convincing them for working for you, or trying to kill the bad ones?
It's like a competition. It's like
for convincing them. Yeah, don't send like a horse's head. It's not like it's not the mafia.
Yeah.
But we would be bidding against each studio who send the best present, get the guy.
Exactly.
So
I think it's a solid idea.
Let's cut that out of when we pull out.
Otherwise, I don't know if you guys have some sponsors that you may lose some of them if you guys have it, you know.
Yeah.
True.
So yeah, one thing that we try to do like lately for this reason is like to hire freelance artists for a longer time, even though it's not just like for one project, but let's say for a couple, 3, 4 months, and to have like this talent over there and to be sure that there's someone around if we need it, you know, for a project.
Yeah, of course.
And since we also have a lot of personal projects going on all the time, we all the time have work to do, even though it has a client or it doesn't have a client, you know. So this is something that we started to do it like lately for this reason, for you know, freelance and availability and all this stuff. Yeah.
How does that work out with regards to like overhead costs? Because obviously, if the onus is on you guys to try and get something in to put on them, but I guess I'm sure you guys have done the maths, like you know, like downtime versus not hiring somebody and trying to find someone. I mean, how's it all? Does it equal out kind of similar anyway?
Yeah, in this case, for instance, when we hire someone for more time, we try to negotiate the day rate. You know, it's this typical thing to say, okay, are you joining us for 4 months, let's say, or 3 months? But we are gonna lower a little bit the rate because we are gonna, you know, give you work for all this time of period.
And a basket of treats.
And a basket of treats and knife, as you were saying, you know. And obviously we try also to make the team involved into an interesting project or a personal project, you know, and in a way we think that this is also something that may interest talent at the end of the day. But yeah, I think it's not easy to, you know when is the right moment to hire one person, you know, versus what we do is like to do more analytics, you know, about our, you know, expenses and what kind of freelance are the more that are requiring, you know, more money from our side, you know, and try to take all this data and try to analyze it for the next year. So this is something that we've been also been improving a lot, the analysis of all this data, that it's super useful. And since we kind of have like these quite well a few years that we are running from now, you know, so we start to have more data, you know, and we try to put there all together and to understand what is actually happen. Otherwise, you end up the year and you see the projects that you've done, and you know, and you feel, you know, happy or less happy or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think that it's also interesting to go down into the figures and try to understand what is happening and what can we improve. No?
Well, those are the foundations. I think that's probably one aspect that gets overlooked by quite a number of studios is the analytics side.
Yeah. And actually we try to improve our analytics, you know, from year to year. And yeah, again, it's something that you realize over the years that you're starting to the creative side, and then you realize that there's a lot of more work to be done, you know, that it goes beyond from the, you know, you picking a brief and trying to come back with a great idea. There's a lot of work to do for you know, for the general structure and the company for, you know, to keep going and to work.
Yeah.
Do you think having 5 partners help you guys quite a lot in the structure? Like we're talking about having the analytics and everything. I'm just thinking like nowadays, you know, as I'm the only owner of Cookies, so for me, you know, when we need to get all the systems together and everything, we're still quite a small studio, so we don't have people to do that, you know. So do you think you guys being like 5 people help, and also help in a way, you know, you can have different 5 vision, you know, looking in a different aspect of the company as well? No?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Obviously, it has its pros and cons as everything, because sometimes it's harder to get along in terms of finding the right decision, you know, because there's 5 voices that are speaking there. But I think that in terms of having different kind of profiles, you know, and I guess that this growing up that everyone has been doing has made us a little bit more different. You know, in the beginning, we were more heading into the same things. And as we were growing up a little bit, I guess that everyone has found his own place. And I guess that everything makes all this puzzle work. And that's something interesting about it, that even though maybe none of us, if we were doing like a new company, we'd like to have like 4 more partners right now. I guess that we try to kind of find the good part of it. And again, and something that I always defend about being like 5 in total is that sometimes it gives you space between us, because we are working with some kind of project with one of us, let's say, but then we are discussing about another thing with the other partner, you know, and this gives this kind of a space in where you are not discussing and working and, you know, and speaking about everything with the same person. And maybe sometimes it's like helpful for, you know, have more space and, you know, renew energy and all this stuff, you know.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I think it helps. Yeah, and it's what you said. You know, like I remember in the beginning when you guys were all in the same room, that, you know, it's everyone trying to do the same thing. But you said you guys pretty much like 11, 12 years now, so it's each one start getting their own place in the company and help the company structure strongly. You know, because
it's like
you have
5 pillars.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you know, and each one is always going to be better something than the other, so it's quite good.
Exactly. And it's one of the good things about, you know, sorry, my cat going on here.
Special guest.
And especially as it's the 6th partner here, is the boss. So another thing about growing a little bit our structure is that it allows us, at least as how we envision it, but it allows everyone to have its own position because there's more structure beneath it, you know?
Yeah.
And trying to do a lot of stuff at the same time, I guess that it's not something good for doing like the proper job. Otherwise you are not focused at all, you know? And this is something that has also helped us, you know, to have more structure, to join more team into the company, and to let ourselves to be more into the place that we want to, you know? So I guess that this is something that it also helped us a lot, you know.
So how do you guys keep your keep your creativity high? Like how do you keep your work looking like fresh and all that kind of side of things?
Well, that's a great question, but I guess that first of all, trying to approach it, you know, as it was the first project that it comes into our door, you know, 10 years ago. Secondly, we try to, you know, to work with the best talent into the industry. We try to search for new ones, you know, we are always open to work with new people. And thirdly, I would say trying to choose better, because you know that sometimes it's not that easy, trying to choose a bit better our projects, you know, because a great project is not only about what we do or what we propose, you know, it's having a great briefing, it's having a great client, you know, everything has to be aligned. Otherwise it's going to be something that maybe have some good parts and maybe there are not. And apart from that, obviously, is to have this self-initiated project side, you know.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
maybe sometimes this perfect project doesn't come along, you know, but then we have an idea or something that you know, can work, and it's a place where we are more free to do our stuff, and then we balance a little bit both sides, you know. But I guess that is something that everyone does in the industry, you know, to have personal projects, you know, in case you don't have commercial projects. Well, in
You
one
need it
hand,
for your soul to recharge.
yeah, for
ideas out.
sure, totally. And I guess that it's something really great. And once we started to have more team involved into the company, it's also useful, you know, for making everyone work, and you know, don't be worried about what they have to do next day if there's nothing like commercial, you know.
Actually, with regard to creativity, what are your thoughts on like social media? Is it like a blessing or a curse? Because sometimes it kind of makes things, you know, you get stuck in your own little world looking at the same stuff over and over again. So, but obviously it's also a great tool for promoting your work and also a great tool to find inspiration. So what are your thoughts on social media?
I guess that it's both blessing and a curse. And obviously the typical things, but you have a lot of, super talented people at the in your hand palm, but in the other
It's always
side,
depressing seeing loads of good
exactly,
people.
because you may get frustrated, just
Yeah.
like because you see the people that you actually look up, that you admire, and obviously what you are seeing is people that has just released something, but you don't see the people that doesn't release something, or
Also,
the projects.
You only see a very
Exactly.
curated work as well. Like, you never see the stuff that necessarily pays the bills.
Exactly, totally. So it can be also very frustrating. So at least for me, it's like being, lowering in terms of interest. I get bored, looking at to the feed and seeing an ad every 5 posts. So yeah, I guess that and I don't know. It's something very personal. But in terms of the, in our business, I guess that in a way it has been good because obviously animation has reached more people. But obviously some bad stuff has also happened because maybe people have seen animation in a cheaper way. It's just like animation for Instagram, but it maybe it supposes the same amount of work, that an animation that goes into the TV, originally. So yeah.
One aspect that kind of frustrates me quite a bit is like it's not necessarily about good work anymore. You can put some great work out and you'll get nobody looking at it. But Instagram is now, or I guess Facebook and everything, because of their algorithm updates, it feels like it's very pay to play. And there's a lot of like design, like motion graphics, social media accounts that are basically, oh, we'll put your work up, but you have to pay for it. That kind of depresses me.
Yeah, and I think that another thing that it's not also good about it is that the place that where you are seeing all these animations is like changing actually the way that people is like doing their work, from obvious things like the format, that we used to have like this 69 format, like more related to the cinema, and now everything is like more vertical or a square, to the things that you actually post. You may have a super amazing short film that may win an Oscar, let's say, but then you post a simple character animation or work in progress or whatever that is behind the scenes, and it may have more reaction than something that is a proper work.
I'm kind of wondering, how far are we away from like the first portrait feature film in a cinema?
Yeah,
I bet it's not that far off.
No, I guess that we are not. Yeah.
Maybe we should start doing Sino portrait now.
Get more of the younger generation.
Exactly.
But when we start the show back in London or whatever, we'll have like a big screen and just cut out a square in the middle that can be seen through.
Yeah, totally. Or now you can use like some stickers for the younger.
We can hand out like stickers.
Yeah, exactly. Or you put it yourself, like physical ones. But yeah,
creepy.
So where do you guys see, which direction you guys going? Do you think you guys gonna grow the companies more and just make the structure stronger and adapt? Where you see you in 5 years time?
I guess that growing a little in structure to to be able to have like a more solid kind of team. And the other one definitely in sales, I guess, that to be a little bit more independent in terms of sales, let's say, and obviously to reach better projects, all this stuff. But for us, our main challenge is obviously to maintain the studios and to make the most of them, to try to do great projects. But also right now we are super focused on the production, the production company, which is a newer project. And I guess it's the more challenging ones because even though obviously we've been like in the industry for a while, production is a little bit different, and working with directors and illustrations is more challenging. So I guess that we are putting a lot of effort in here to make this like really grow.
And do you see do you see you guys going to live action side as well, or you guys tend to keep all animation?
I guess that for now we are gonna focus more into the animation. Otherwise, being good, it's gonna happen the same as the beginning. When
Yeah,
you show what you are doing, animation, or you are more into the live action film, and people are
and you
not
just
gonna trust that.
spreading.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
exactly.
true.
At least for now. Obviously, as I was saying at the beginning, the way of selling your work is not something that is finished. It's something that it never finished. So
Yeah.
maybe next year we're gonna change, or maybe we're gonna keep it like that. It depends on how we see things evolve.
Yeah, yeah. I noticed like in the last quite few years, you guys moved quite a lot to cell animation, more and more as well.
Mm.
And I don't remember in the beginning used to be something you guys used to do a lot. You used to do quite a bit of 3D as well. So
Mhm.
do you think that is more like where the jobs are now, or is where more the passion you guys have at the moment?
Well, I guess that maybe not so related to the technique, more related to the characters. Having
Mm-hmm.
characters is something that allows people to tell stories, and something very appealing to clients. And everyone loves characters. And in a way, we felt like, at least for the styles that we were usually using, cell animation was the best technique for it,
Mm-hmm.
because it has this crafty way and approach, and everything is like more close. um but yeah, we still love to do like motion graphics or something more, I don't know, puppet animation for characters. And we do still really do 3D too. Maybe there
Mm-hmm.
are less projects for us, and we try to do, I don't know, use different techniques or softwares like Unreal, for instance. But they are also there. But I guess it's more a matter of what it's inside the animation. So if
Mm-hmm.
there's characters or not. So
It's more the solution in general than what is the
exactly.
style. No?
Yeah, it's whatever fits.
Yeah, totally.
We have a question on YouTube from Luis Villani, who says, also I apologize if I butchered the pronunciation. It says,
No worry.
how to put everybody in the same path working from like different places. How do you get like staff on site and also remote? How do you get them to
Remote,
focus
especially when it's new
creativity in the
people.
same direction? Yeah.
I guess it's a matter of great organization, to have everything planned and to have a lot of contact with the talent. I guess that these kind of things that we communicate through calls and all these things, they are very important. I guess that we need to have everything like set up, in documents and in text, in lists and so on. But we also need to talk with people and to discuss things. So I guess that it's more of a thing related to production, actually, to have super talented people in production too, that we thankfully have in the team, and getting everything organized. It's a matter of organizing people, letting everyone know, to have a great system and to have a great team that allows us to do.
I imagine it's kind of difficult if you're working with new talent, people you haven't worked with before as well, because if there's someone, I mean, it's harder remotely to judge someone's character until you start working with them. Whereas obviously, if you've worked with somebody a lot before, there's no element of risk at all. That's quite I don't know. I imagine that's probably
Yeah.
quite a tricky aspect to get everybody focused in the same direction if it's new talent you're working with.
Yeah, totally. Obviously, new talent is also a risky thing. It has a risk to take, and or in cases talented that talent that you see that they are great and they have a great portfolio and so many years working, sometimes you don't get along with those talent, and you don't know why.
That's half the
Because
battle,
maybe
isn't it? Getting along with somebody.
exactly. So for some reason, or you think that they are more professional than they actually are, I don't know, they have a bad time, and that's something very important to test all the time. And actually we are in a point right now in where we want to to purge a little bit more. I don't know if that word is correct, but to have a even greater list of freelance talent that are the very, very best. And we have worked with them, and we put our soul in their hands and we feel confident.
A green list or a safe list.
Exactly, the safe list. And we are actually working on that, because sometimes you start working with different people and then we realize that there's a mix, or maybe one part of the team has worked with some talent and the other one has worked with another kind of talent. And I know that this it's a way of organizing all this talent, and everyone is aware of the one that works better, and so we are actually doing that to organize all this list and having the best ones in the top of the list.
You should make it like a dating app, like swipe left to higher, swipe right to ooh.
Exactly, because obviously we receive quite a bit portfolios all the time and these things, and we keep there in the best ones we keep there, but we need like this safe team, the ones that are the very best.
And I think, as you said, it's all about trying people as well, because I don't know, it's quite frustrating sometimes. We hire people like for the first time, look in the portfolio, look in the show reel, but doesn't mean sometimes it's not that person is bad or not delivering that job, but sometimes it's not a good fit for the job as well. So without testing, it's really hard. I think as the studio is always the risk, to try new people, and bigger you grow, more freelancers you need as well, more you need to test people.
Sometimes when you look at a portfolio website, it's not actually obvious what somebody's part is, and it's not necessarily credited correctly. So it's really quite easy to mishire somebody.
Yeah. And sometimes what happened to us is that when we propose to do another thing to a freelance that does not this kind of work, but may potentially do it. For instance, when an animator, a great animator, you think that maybe can direct a piece, and sometimes you have to test that, and sometimes it works, sometimes it not. You actually know that there's not actually their job, but since they know so much about animation, you think that maybe can direct that.
Maybe can direct,
It's sometimes a bit tricky because it is even if somebody is great at animation and they know what they're looking for, sometimes them being able to tell somebody else what they are looking for is quite a different. It's almost like a bit of a different skill set. So it's a bit 50-50 whether it's going to work out or not.
Exactly. Everything about communication, having your ideas clear, and those people to be great too, because it's easier to make yourself clear to someone that is super talented and everything that this person does is like great, than someone that maybe it's not that talent, and and you have to be like super specific of what you want.
Yeah,
I completely agree. So what is your favorite type of client? What is the type of client you guys talking about device or yourself, you want to see more?
Or can we partner this with what's your favorite and worst project you've worked on as well?
Like this last year?
Well, forever, really.
Forever, yeah.
Forever.
As a device. Yeah, as a device.
Wow.
You don't have to name names, by the way, but
yeah. So, I mean, a great client in general is, you guys can imagine the answer, but it's the one that really trusts you and the one that, have loved your portfolio previously and comes with an idea that fits your portfolio, not an idea that doesn't fit that portfolio for some reason. And this trust is something that it's like the most important thing, because otherwise you end up like having more discussions about things, about the process, about the ideas, about the references, about copying the stuff that you don't want to copy, and once you feel like this trust in a client and they like do this useful feedback, that has a lot of sense, then I guess that this is a great client. Regarding our best and not that best project, I mean, for instance,
favorite.
Maybe I don't have like an all-time favorite, I guess, and I guess that it's also because I guess that everyone waits for the perfect wave, like the surfers that are also chasing all the time, like the perfect wave to come, and they are surfing all the time because they search this kind of wave.
I guess the perfect animation curves. Oh man,
exactly.
I've done it.
And this perfect, triangling where everything is fine, the creativity, what we propose,
Money
the
and
client,
real.
the money, the, timing,
You guys are high.
exactly. So I guess that we are still trying to find that, but I think that it's a good thing, because otherwise we are still trying to find that perfect project, and let's go for it, and let's try to find it. But
and I think more trust you get as well from the clients, more you get into the direction. No?
Exactly. And I guess that clients has to do what clients have to do, and the studio has to propose what the studio has to propose. When clients try to direct things, or try to say their opinions about something that has no reason,
I think the worst is when you win like a pitch, all going well, and then when you start the project, there's like a massive change of direction for some reason, and it's like that's the most frustrating part.
Yeah, totally. But I have to say that some kind of great clients are the ones that the client and the agency is like the same thing, these big clients that they have like their own marketing part, and they take care of these projects that may come along. And I guess that since there's less structure and they are more professional, sometimes it goes like more smooth with this kind of clients, that when you have a lot of structure that with different actors of the sector, and everyone is like saying their things, and it gets more complicated. But yeah.
Is there anyone you'd like to work with that you haven't managed to work with yet, like any kind of company or entity?
Maybe, I don't know, maybe for some kind of solidarity project, I would say, but I don't have any specific client in mind, I guess, like the very great ones. I mean, because I don't know, all these classic things about Nike, Google, and all this stuff. I guess that I wouldn't go for these guys, but I actually don't have one real one,
Whoever gives the most freedom.
Exactly. And it depends on the project, I guess, because a great client can give you a shitty project, and a smaller client can.
Yeah.
Exactly. What's the point of having a big client if you cannot show the project because it doesn't, it doesn't
I think stuff like don't get me wrong, like Nike and those kind of projects are nice and everything, but I think they're kind of somewhat. I think the older you get in the industry, they're somewhat more and more overrated. Like when you first start out, it's like, oh, stars in your eyes. I can do this for Nike or whatever, but it doesn't really matter, does it? Really?
No, I think it's in the end is what you do with the job, because even like looking show reels nowadays, I think we always look about the spectrum of the animation, the design on the project. It's not even like in the old times, everyone had the show reel with the logos in the end. You don't see that anymore. It's not about clients anymore. It's about like the whole idea, the whole execution, of the project.
Yeah, and I guess that even though we say that at some point clients like to see clients, I think that
this is a confidence
reality
thing.
there. Exactly. But if you ask me for the creative part, the creative interest, I guess that every client can be interesting if the project, is interesting. So
I mean, you could put like you did a project for Nike or Reebok or whatever, but what the other clients don't know is that it was a terrible mistake. But they see the logo there and like, oh, I'll work with them.
Yeah. And
no, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. No, I was about to say that ironically, sometimes these big clients doesn't have like big budgets for interesting projects, and you see those logo there, but maybe are the more low budget projects that you have in your portfolio.
I mean, some of the projects these guys kick out, because they're such massive conglomerates, are terrible projects. It'll be like, an internal video or whatever. It's not necessarily the high gloss stuff you'll see on like Instagram or on television or whatever.
Yeah.
I think what gives is just the security for clients to say, these guys work with Nike, so I can trust them. If Nike trusts that, it's like basically just give confirmation you guys can do the job. But in the end, it doesn't mean anything. You can be working with Nike and have the worst project, or never Nike doesn't want to work with you anymore. That, what you put on the internet doesn't really matter nowadays.
Yeah. Totally agree.
Cool. So we're getting to 1 hour show. Should we ask the question, James? You made a really lovely question. It's
I think you
always
should
fun.
ask it. I think it's more appropriate if you ask it.
So if your studio was on the Twitter,
Tinder.
how would you on the Tinder? Sorry.
We are already on Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah. How would you describe yourself? The studio, if it was a Tinder account.
For picking up with clients, let's say.
Yeah.
Yep.
That would be.
I guess that we already have that in our website. We are storytelling animation driven studio, let's say, something like that.
Flirtatious.
At the end of the day, exactly. And romantic, and we will put our hype and something like that, like in Tinder.
Would you make client pay for the dinner date, or would you go Dutch?
No, I would. I think I would pay for it. But yeah.
Cool. That's great. So thank you so much, man. It's really nice to see how you guys developed through this year. Especially, I still remember that part in Barcelona. I showed.
Do you? Or was it kind of a vague memory?
I do remember. It was really, at some point, was really orienting part. It was really great time. It's really nice to see how you guys develop through the year, not just as a studio, but style wise, and congratulations, all the
definitely.
different companies as well, man.
I think I'm going to.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it, Ian.
I think I'm going to start converting day rates into Amberico ham-based day rates.
Yeah, you can. They're quite expensive, no? You can get a whole egg, James.
Yeah, but they're delicious.
Yeah. But again, man, thank you so much. Thank everyone to join us today. The video is gonna be on our YouTube channel, so anyone can watch after.
Great.
And we're doing one show a month now. So the next one is gonna be the end of Feb. We're gonna announce on the next couple of weeks. But thank you guys, man, and I hope you guys well, and just let's keep talking,
Yeah. So again, thanks so much for having me, and let's hope we can meet in the nearby future.
I hope so. I hope so.
In Barcelona or in London.
We're due a trip to Barcelona. Haven't been for ages.
Yeah. So you should come. Well, not now, maybe, because there are a lot of cases, but maybe,
I'm going to wait a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going crazy everywhere. But I hope off is in April, no?
I think so. And
I'm gonna try Bob. It'd be nice to see everyone.
Sure. You are a regular of the festival. You have to be there.
Yeah. Are you talking at that one, Thiago?
Sorry?
Are you talking at that one?
Not this year. No. Right. I did last year. Yeah.
You're just concentrating on drinking this time.
Yeah, I don't have a good reputation on drinking that, so it's good. But thanks so much, man. We're gonna see everyone like in a month's time, guys, and have a good night.